In addition to the required essay prompt, there's also the optional statement. And I think the question that applicants always wonder is how optional is optional, and what kinds of things should go in there.
It is truly optional. It is not our secret expectation that everybody has something extra to add in there. And in fact, I encourage you to use that section with restraint and really limit it to things that you think the admissions committee will need to understand another element of the application that we have asked you for. So in other words, it's not an opportunity to answer an unasked question. It's really an opportunity to provide further explanation around something that we did ask that maybe you didn't have adequate opportunity within that section to give us all the detail or context we'd need to understand it. An example of that might be your academic performance. So let's say you had a dip in your academic performance during one of the years of your undergraduate experience, and it wouldn't be clear just from looking at your transcript what happened there. But there was something else going on in your life at the time that's important in order to be able to put that academic context in place. So that would be an example of where to use the optional statement. But there's not a whole lot that needs to go in there. We actually have tried to standardize some of the things that we would see in the optional statement. So for example, we found that some people would give us an explanation of why they didn't go to a current supervisor for their letter of recommendation within the optional statement, so we'd have that context. But then sometimes people wouldn't give us that information, and we would be left wondering. So we decided to standardize that, ask that question of everybody. Similar for gaps in work experience, lots of people have periods where they're not working for over the course of their career trajectory. So rather than leave it up to sort of chance whether someone gives us that information in the optional statement, once again, we standardize that asset for everyone. And so I feel as though we get a lot of contextual information very intentionally throughout the application we've constructed. So the reasons to use the optional statement are fairly limited. Again, I would base that on, is there anything that we have asked you for in the application as a whole that you haven't been able to give adequate information for us to really understand?